That's Drew.
And that's Mike.
And that's Mogely.
What's up?
For our listeners, Manuel Herrera, also known as Mogely, is a filmmaker and professional skateboarder on the Braille skateboarding team. Since starting his YouTube channel in 2009, Manuel has created a library of over 1,100 videos, bringing in well over 4 million views and 61,000 subscribers. Follow the links to his channel to watch some impressive skate videos and learn more about Manuel's determination and infectious optimism. Thanks so much for your time today, man.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all inviting me. It was like, I didn't even expect it because like I'm always like checking my email just because random things get emailed to me, and it's like either about music, like if I could use some people's music on YouTube, which is always a plus because that means I get to support someone's art and I get to use it without getting hit by YouTube. So yeah, anybody, music, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that I never thought about that because you can't put any copyrighted music out there. So if there's any really cool artist who gets into you, it's just free, less research time for you, right?
I always link the artist that I use in the description, unless the music is not available and it literally got emailed to me by that person. And it's, I don't know how to link that. So
yeah, I don't blame you there. There's not much you can do when it comes like that. So I want to start, before we start with your past. I think that you're part of this new shift in the skateboarding, action sports industry, where previously, when we were just talking about skate videos growing up, like you would have to make that team, and there wasn't YouTube. So like you'd have to skate contests, you'd have to skate in certain areas, meet people and climb your way up through the ladders. And now with YouTube, you can start posting 11 years ago and get your name out there and not necessarily have to go that path. So now there's kind of two paths. There's the YouTube skaters, which now Aaron Cairo and the Revive team, Andy Schrock and Brian Ames, have really started to build a huge market with that. You're on that train there. So I wanted to find your thoughts on the shift in this industry, and if there's anything that you see coming too.
Honestly, I think that what they have done is really important, because like I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that with the core industry, or just like the other side of skateboarding, it feels like there's not much of a chance given, especially like you have to know people to get to a certain position or a certain team. And with YouTube, it's more of like someone watches your YouTube videos over and over and they're like, I really like this person's personality, and you can clearly see that they have a passion for what they're doing, whether it be creating YouTube videos about skateboarding or just genuinely like going outside and having fun with friends. They're promoting a really good message towards people, I believe.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's a major change that I've seen from the YouTube side versus the traditional core business, is that it seems to be a little bit more positive and parent friendly on this side, which is the YouTube. And on the other, it was a little bit more, it's not bad. It's just different, right? There's a little bit more partying and videos and things like that. I don't necessarily see that in most of the YouTube content that I'm seeing in front of these major outlets.
Yeah. And not to say that I personally don't see that as like, oh, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I just like, because I'm a person that personally doesn't drink or does any of that, just because like between the time that it took to get to where I am right now, I was like really focused on trying to do something with skateboarding that I thought about it as, if I go do any of the things that people are doing, like partying or just doing drugs, it's taking time away and focus from what I really want to be doing for the long run. And like, once again, nothing bad about those people. They do what they want, they have their own choices, but at the end of the day, I have my own choice as well. And I just think when I think about those choices, I should be focusing on what I really want to see myself like doing or accomplishing. Because like goals and seeing them seeing my goals get like accomplished is probably one of the best feelings in the world, because it's just like so relieving, and it's like I made that happen, and it just makes me feel like anything else is really possible. So once again, it's just like depends on the person.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And
And you live that ideal because
yeah.
recently you did quite a bike ride, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So like, so this is a funny thing. One of my friends tried to bike from Long Beach to the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, but I think it was like the second or third day his phone broke and he was on his way to Santa Maria and he had to turn it back around because he was filming on his phone and he wanted to create that video for YouTube. So when I found out that he was going back and not that it failed, but his phone broke, I told him, dude, it would be really cool if we did this from the Mexican border, just because it sounds cooler. And I wasn't thinking about it as much as I should have. We didn't prep like he was prepping from Long Beach for the Long Beach to the Golden Gate, but then when it came down to going from the Mexican border to the Golden Gate, he wasn't prepping at all. Neither was I. And I mean, that was a crazy ride. Like, but that whole journey itself was like a really important thing that I felt like I needed to not relive, but like it was something that I needed to live and feel in the present time, just because it was everything that I've ever felt, but all within 6 days, which was really important because I feel like a lot of people forget all the struggles they've ever gone through their life once they make it to a certain part of like wherever they're going. And I felt like I relived everything all in one like week. So from that bike ride, I wanted to quit so badly, but we were like halfway. I made a analogy that the wind pushing against us, it felt like uphill, but it felt like we were making progress, but not really because we're not moving. And it was like the most frustrating thing in the world. And I've felt like that before whenever it's like learning like to become a better skateboarder, tricks, or just in general, like creating ideas on YouTube. Like you feel like you're stuck, but you're not really stuck. It's just this moment in time you don't see the movement, but it's really important that you just don't stop. And then when we got to San Francisco, not the Golden Gate, just I felt so much relief because it felt like, wow, we worked so hard just to see the city and we're so close to the goal. I was like so happy. And I referred to this as like one of the most proudest moments of my life because it was like all real time and seeing that success in front of my eyes too and feeling it too with my body. Because like at the end of this trip, my left knee was like really sore. My thighs, I couldn't really move as much as I wanted. It took a week to just fully heal. And now I'm able, yeah.
I mean, that's a heck of a bike ride. I mean, what was it, like 1,000 miles?
630 miles. Yeah.
And so your guys were doing 100 miles a day plus.
The first day was probably the not the best day because like we tapped out in Oceanside and we're like, all right, we'll stop right here. We should have honestly kept going. We should have honestly kept going to probably I think I don't know if it's not Huntington, but like Orange County, somewhere around there. We should have made it that far and stopped, but because I wasn't used to it, I told Jay, hey man, I think I'm good. And it was already like 10 p.m. and we just got a motel. And we did get motels for those 6 nights, except for one. One of them we stayed in Malibu, Zuma Beach.
It looked like a parking lot.
Yeah. All right. So the cop, it was like 1 a.m. It was 1 a.m. and the cop pulled us over. Like they just went into this kind of weird dirt area and they're like, you guys got to go. There's a fire station right there. There's neighbors and they're going to see a camping like tent. And they're like, y'all got to go. But you guys could go to Zuma Beach. It's literally 10 minutes from here if you bike. And you'll be, no one's going to bother you. We're not going to bother you. And once we heard the okay from them, we just went there and like just camped out.
It's pretty cool of them because they could have like been jerks about it, but it's nice of them to like say, hey, just go here. We won't bother you. I know you're only here for the night. Just then hop out in the morning.
Yeah, they were even giving us tips. They're like, you guys are gonna need to watch out for the hills once you get to the Santa Maria area. And we're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But then when we got when we got there, it made so much sense. It was like we're going uphill, downhill, uphill, and we're like on the side of the freeway most of the time. It was hectic, to be honest.
I saw that one road. The side was like, I mean, you were
Yeah.
riding on like a foot and a half.
Oh yeah, that was intense. And then we like, I think we showed the car zoom by.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, I love that story. I wanna start back in your beginnings, and you're famously from Bakersfield. Proud of that. I have no geography of of California, so everyone knows is like Bakersfield. Where geographically, where is that?
all right, so it's 2 hours north of LA, and then 2 hours south of Fresno. So it's in the middle. And then we're 4 hours away from San Diego, and then 3 hours and 30 minutes from like the Bay Area, which I'm in right now. And I like to think about it, it's in the middle of everything, because then it's also 4 hours away from Vegas. And then we're 2 hours
That's
away
cool.
from like the coast, which is like Morro Bay, Pismo, and just like right there near the ocean. So like literally, I think about it as like it's in the center of like, that's exactly where ideally I'm thankful to be from there, because like I'm like just able to go anywhere really.
Yeah, and that's pretty rare in the state of California. I feel like it's so many people are so far from all of those areas, and it sounds like Bakersfield is pretty much a great place to be.
I mean, it's not a great place because
No?
like the air quality, and then just I've seen it in like The Simpsons, like it being like the armpit of the earth or something like that. And just like jokes. I've also seen it like this one movie where this kid ran away, and then he was just like, I'll just tell my mom I ran away to like Bakersfield or something. And I was like, what? It was so random. I was like, I wouldn't have ever thought about hearing that one. But
Hey man, it's still California, and 2 hours from a beautiful coast to me is that's a win. Um,
yeah.
so so growing up, a lot of our we put out a question on Instagram, and a lot of questions were about when you found skating and why skating was the thing that clicked with you. So let's start there. What was the first time you started skating?
So I started skating in December of 2004. I don't know the day, but I know it's 2004. Uh, I picked it up because one of my best friends lived on the street that I still live on. And he lived in the middle. And then I had another friend at the end of the street. So we'd always meet up at his house. And we went to his house, and he's like, oh, I'm like, I got a skateboard and I've been trying to learn this. And that's how it all started. And then, well, this is still middle school. I'm like a seventh grader. So I'm like 12. And I was like, how can I impress girls? And yes, this is literally like one of the main things that held it down. I wanted to impress chicks. And I quickly realized that that's not going to do it. But I did learn something. I learned that skateboarding was just basically all you. I mean, like, because like I was playing soccer like at school, and I really liked that, but I didn't really do that when I was on my street with my friends. So we would just kind of hang out or play video games. So whenever it came down to skating, I just realized, wow, I don't need to wait for a turn or a ball to get passed to me so I can like take lead of the game or whatever. It was basically just self. And that meant that if I want to get better, I have to do the work. I have to continuously improve on myself. No one's gonna take the skateboard and land that trick for me. I have to do that. So it was all just self development from there, and I think that's why I really stayed with it, because it was more of a confidence thing. It kept feeding me that confidence that I didn't have at that time, and I really liked that about skateboarding.
I was hoping you might talk about your green grip tape story, because
Oh yeah.
that was a really cool story. And listening to some of your other interviews on YouTube, that was one that really stood out to me as not only a definitive moment seemingly in your skateboarding career, but also just for me as like, oh yeah, I can totally relate to that same feeling of like wanting to prove people wrong.
Okay, let me pop it up really quick. Hopefully I could pop it up if it pops up. I have a picture maybe that will do it.
Oh, that'd
If
be awesome.
not,
Yeah.
1 second, sorry.
No, you're fine, man.
If not, I could just send you a photo and maybe you can add it.
Yeah, I can.
But
That'd be cool. Yeah.
It'll for the people on YouTube. It'll be on the screen right now.
okay, all right.
Magic
So this is like one of the biggest turnarounds in like also myself. So a 360 flip. Everyone knows tray flip, 360 flip. This I was trying this on a loading dock. Not that like it was probably like the height of a 7 stair, and what happened was someone told me, "Hey, you can't do that." Like, and this happened multiple times around this period. So I was like 14 already. So I've already been skating for 2 to 3 years. 14, 15. I think it was 15 for sure. So I was like a freshman going into sophomore, and a friend said, "I don't think you can do it." And like I could hear, like when someone says that genuinely, you can hear it in their voice. So hearing that, I was just in my heart, I was like, wow, you can't even believe in me? That's like, that kind of hurts. So like, instead of like being sad, I was like, no, I'm gonna prove you because I feel it in here. In my heart, I feel like I can do it. So I stayed there, kept doing it. And I remember this moment because like everyone was like, oh, I'm gonna go inside the 99-cent store and I'm gonna buy some snacks. What do y'all want? And while they're talking about it, I was still throwing this 360 flip off the loading dock, and on one of them, somehow magically my board cracked, but I landed both feet in like close to the middle. Like both feet were semi close to the middle, not on bolts, but like in the middle, and I somehow rolled away. And like if you skate, you know this feeling like somehow like you black out for a quick second, and that's what happened. I just remember rolling away, and I was thinking, what just happened? Like all those hard like attempts and like rushed of like just anger and like falls, and then just one you just rolling away, and you're thinking to yourself, that was it? That's it?
Yeah.
And it's because it cracked, we fully broke it. And then one of my friends helped me up with like just pushing me up, and I slapped the green grip tape onto the sign, and it's still there to this day by my knowledge. Like every time I drive by, because like it's in back of a 99-cent store, I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is insane that it's still there. And like it's like one of the most to me, it holds a lot of value because it was like when it's a make or break, I feel like, for a lot of people in skateboarding, like to get better, because it's all really within yourself. And if you can like go through these trial and errors of like tests, I think of them like, will you stop? It's like a persistent thing basically, like because like I didn't really have the mindset that I do now, where I train or I practice the trick before I go do it. Back then I was just throwing it off the loading dock because I could do it one time on flat. So I was like, oh, I can do it on flat one time, let's go off the stair set. I have more time to look at it and like just the hang time. So that really helped out a lot, being able to persevere through those challenges that I put myself through.
And it sounds like you almost had the same emotional roller coaster in a single trick there that you did on the bike ride. Just obviously maybe 2 hours versus 6 days. It's a little bit different, but I see that the goal, and I feel like you're chasing that kind of that rush of the goal accomplishment, which is really cool.
Yeah, so I guess I never seen it in that way, but although like, and this is one of those things that I don't know if I do this purposely, but I end up with a challenge And I think about it like, wow, this is gonna take a while, but if I do it now, at the end of it, I get to look back and it feels amazing.
Yeah.
And being able, because like I probably will never bike ride again like that, because it's just, and I'm just being honest, because like while I was doing it and at the end of it, I thought about it, I could have been skateboarding and like just getting better. So when I think about it, it's like for tricks, it's like some tricks are really, really hard, and you almost don't think that you're going to do it again if it's just for like a video part, or you're just trying to see if you can do it to show people that you can do it.
I think it's like what you just said is kind of, you're looking for the personal development and the break from personal and professional development. In your case, professional development is getting better at skateboarding, and personal development might be saying, hey, without training, I'm going to ride my bike from the Mexico border to the Bay Bridge, which I feel like that took you on a personal journey. And maybe there's a great balance that you could find in life throughout that, you know?
Yeah, that personal journey showed me that I can do anything if I really want to do it.
You can even ride uphill against the wind.
That is true.
And the next step is doing the whole like Pacific Coast, or just do a coast to coast across the US.
Yeah.
Someone literally said that, and me and my friend Jay, who I biked with, we were talking about this, and we could have made like a nice little series if we had a camera guy in my car. Like I wouldn't have cared. I would have allowed the person to drive my car, meet us in certain locations, and it would have been a lot cleaner than just phones, because the phones downgraded the quality. Like it like hurt the soul, but we both know that it's a good thing to experience, like going through a bike ride.
Yeah. And it was fun to do it with a friend, right? I'd love to do
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
So, um, you're skating now, 11 years old, you're 15. When was it that you saw like, I'm getting good enough to potentially be a pro. I want to make this my path. I'm going to set my goal as Mogely will be a professional skater.
So I never really thought about it like that. All I ever thought about was I just want to make like street video parts that I'm really happy with, and that seem like, or not that it seems like, but something that I'm very proud of. And if I'm going to be honest, I still haven't created something where I feel like I'm proud of, because I know that I can do so much better. And right now in this part of my life, I feel like I have the most free time to create something like that, where I'm able to go to a place that I've seen, like, because now the internet shows all these beautiful skate spots, and there's like I feel like I have more of an access to unlimited skate spots to create something that I would definitely be proud of. So in the sense of like, when did I feel like I can create something with skateboarding? I think it was in 2015. So this is like way past a lot of things, and I didn't really want to do the traditional route, only because John Hill inspired me. Whenever I was like on the job as a security guard, it was like 1 a.m. It was like December 2015, and all I was doing was just on YouTube, and I came across his video randomly came across it. And I always like will say this to everyone: it's because of John Hill that I picked up my camera and started like actually vlogging and creating like the content that I am doing now, because I saw he was good at skating. I saw he was posting on YouTube. I had a camera. I had a laptop. I had everything already. I just wasn't talking to the camera or like posting every other day or daily as he was. But once I saw that and I went through his channel and I was like going back and back, I was like, okay, he's doing it right. He has that idea. And I literally, it all clicked. I was thinking to myself, this guy's a genius. This is literally what a lot of people are gonna be doing, because I was getting hyped up just watching his days. I was like, oh my gosh, like I really like what he's doing every day. And I was thinking to myself, there's not much people doing it. So I started doing it, and I feel like I wasn't doing it correctly, because like now that I look back at all my videos, worst titles, not good thumbnails, and it was and at the time I was like, oh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I look at it back now and I was like, nah, I don't know what I was thinking. It was not that good, but it's nice to look back at it and see where I started posting.
Yeah, and it shows you progress, right? It's that progress goal there. And no one, I think no one starts out with the, I mean, unless they have like a base in like graphic design, which I know you do. And like before that, you didn't have that. And so you're just throwing things up online, taking a screenshot, not even really knowing what to do. And it was probably before even like the title game and the true YouTube algorithm of today was available. So like, you can't really, everything changes, especially with YouTube. So, and as long as you adapt and grow, which you have, that's all you can do. So,
Yeah.
So what was the transition process between being a security guard and then jumping to YouTube? Because that to a lot of people that might just seem like a daydream type of thing, where you're like exactly like you said, like I'm just sitting there doing my job and I'm thinking, man, look at these guys. These guys are out here actually doing this stuff, and I could do that. So how did you make those steps from being there, working the night shift, saying, well, I have all the equipment to do this and I can do this, to actually getting out and doing it?
Okay. So I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best to describe this as honestly and in my opinion. So I truly believe that there are so many talented skateboarders that can do the same thing and probably be way more successful because of the high level of skill they're at, and they can show a lot more because they're probably traveling to other countries on the scale of their sponsors are paying for it, and they're already there. And I say this because, and I'll come back to that question of like the transition. I just want, before I lose this train of thought, I wanted to express it. So there's a lot of skateboarders that are really talented that are focusing too much on this scene of industry that I feel like almost doesn't give them the appreciation that an audience they could build up themselves would give them.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't need other people. They like someone that, okay, this is a prime example. Brian Arnett, he's like someone that I hang out with, or like I could just go skate with at any time. He built up everything that is going on in his life right now. He has a brand called Lake Club. He's a really talented skateboarder, and all of his following is almost based off of himself only. No one's really said like, hey, this is the guy you should go follow. No, he's like just done it all himself with YouTube since he was like young, and he has videos to prove that. So he's a prime example of what skaters, I feel like a good amount of skaters should be thinking about, making YouTube videos. And I understand, like, it's very hard to break this shell where you pick up a camera and you say, hey everyone, da da da. Like, yeah, that is probably the hardest part for some people. I remember when I first started doing that, that was the hardest thing. Like just picking up a camera and like saying something, because in the outside world, you're gonna look, oh, your insecurities are gonna feel that everyone's judging you based off you picking up that camera. And I've felt it. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there. I've thought like maybe I should wait until people are gone and then I just start doing it. I've definitely done that. But once you get all over all those things, you can be in a big crowd and you'll just go at it and it'll just be natural, because all you're thinking about is, oh, this is gonna be amazing. And I think that's the best part. When you start thinking about the content that you're making, not even that it's a video for YouTube, but you're just hyped up to show whoever's gonna watch it. And how I got to all this and where I'm at is all because I sat down as a security guard in 2015 after like I was doing groceries. Like I was a courtesy clerk, and this security guard was like watching me work, and she told me, yo, I see that you're working a lot, and you're just going back and forth. I know you're tired. And this person knew that I was going to have a kid soon. So they told me, hey, you should try to apply to the security company that I work for. They'll definitely give you more hours, and you'll definitely be kind of doing nothing, but in the sense of like nothing that's too straining on the body. And at that moment, I really thought about like, well, I don't want to really lift up too many things or work too hard for my body, because I still go out and skate, and I still put my body through a lot afterwards. Because like I'll go skate for a long period of time and I might become sore. And if you're sore, you're going to feel that while you're doing another job that requires to use your body. So after this person told me about being a security guard, I quickly applied for the guard card. I got it. I applied at that job. I got the job. And then on Go Skate Day, that was my last day for being at that food store.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go. I was just like, well, it's the last day. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to just go skate. And then the next day was my first day. And I literally just sat down for 11 hours. And that was 4 days a week. I just sat down in front of like this dirt field, just watching the PG&E electrical place. And no one can jump in, or you can't even get in without a key. And it's a big gate. So it was the best time of the world, because I was able to like just binge watch a lot of shows that I've been holding off my whole life, because I finally had the time. And that was in June till December. It took a long time to get everything I really needed. So I finally switched over to the iPhone because I was an Android user. I got the external battery that just charges up your phone while it's about to die. And then I finally caught up to everything, all the shows. And then I finally got into the YouTube section where I was like, all right, well, I'm going to watch video parts I haven't watched. And then it just hopped into the John Hill section, and I was able to like get inspired. And from there, by posting every day, I met Nigel Alexander in 2017. From 2015, doing YouTube, to 2017, finally meeting NK, Nigel Alexander. And then in 2018, I started helping him with like editing. So I would edit his YouTube videos and then send him over the Premiere project file, and he would open it up and then just finish it up. 2019, it kind of stopped. A lot of things happened in his life. And then in October of 2019, he just sent me a text message saying Braille was looking for a skater. And he just said like they're looking for a skater to be in their channel, or like editing or filming, which I do help film sometimes, like when someone's like busy doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it really happened. It was all because I switched the gears of what I wanted to do. And I'm not going to lie, there was so many tough times where I would have to just tell myself, no, I got to keep going. And I think that was like how I explained the bike ride, but this was the most longest and patience I've ever had to deal with and I don't want to say deal with, but I really had to prove to myself that this is what I wanted. And then when the opportunity came, I took it. I wasn't going to say, I don't know if I should do it. And it happened at the perfect time, because in last year of 2019, I was working at a hospital doing security, and then the contract ended with the company I was working for. And then I had no like job really at that point, because the company couldn't just put me anywhere. They had to just throw me at random sites. The hours became like I was starting to work less hours. And within the 2 weeks that I transitioned from that job to Braille, they didn't even have anything for me within those 2 weeks. So I gave them the 2 week notice, but I was really here at Braille because they didn't have anything for me to work back home. So it kind of worked out perfectly, but it was like the strangest way that it could work out.
Like fate just grabbed you by the feet and said, this is where you're going,
Yeah, it was pretty insane how it all worked out. And like, and I always say like, I'm very thankful for NKA and Aaron, because without those two people, like I wouldn't be in the position I am. And I'm not ever going to just take the credit, because those guys really did put me in the position where I am right now.
So like, how did you, I have two questions on this. How did you originally meet NKA?
I sent him a DM because I feel like a lot of people that watch YouTube at that time, they know who NKA is.
Yeah.
And I knew that he knew so many skate spots. Like, he's like, you tell him or show him a photo, like, hey, where is this in LA? And he'll be like, oh yeah, that's right here, right here. Do you want to go skate that? And he's like the coolest person to be around too. So when I first met him, it was me and my brother and a few friends were going to LA. I remember it was like a Tuesday around April. And my brother said, hey, you should try to message Nigel and see if he wants to meet up. So I did. And the craziest thing is, like, he finally responded to my text message, like, for the first time ever. And he said, oh, we're going to be at this skate park if you want to meet up. So that's the park we went to. And it just kind of started from there. Like, from there, I got his phone number and our relationship built up.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, John has said a very similar story of just how integral he was to his career growing. And so being so involved in watching the YouTube content up to this point, now you're on NKA's channel and you're growing. You obviously had known who Braille was before this, and you get the text that says they're looking for someone. You get on to that team. What's the first day like, right? You show up at Braille, you meet Aaron, and you're like, I've been watching you guys for, I don't know, years maybe, and now you're on this team. Like, what's that like?
So the first day, literally, we had to try to rip a hole into a shoe. Like, how many kick flips will it take to rip these? How long will it take to rip these Vans? I think they were Vans. And I think it took 103 kick flips.
Oh,
But
man.
that was like one of the first videos I ever was a part of. And I'll remember thinking, dang, if this is what it's going to be, I'm kind of okay with it, because it's like you're just doing kick flips and you just got to see how long it's going to rip.
How
So,
sore were you? That's got to be like crazy.
I was okay. Like, I didn't really take I wasn't too sore. I probably felt it for like a day, but I was definitely happier doing that than just wishing I could be doing something to, like, towards a goal that I wanted.
I mean, that's the epitome of like manifesting your destiny, because you're watching these things, you're watching John, you're building this mentality, and then all of a sudden everything starts to fall in place. And I'm super stoked for you, man, because it's the journey has just begun. And so I want to go back to a couple things from your past. And you skated some contests and you did pretty well, right? So you got 13th in the Zoomies Best Foot Forward in Las Vegas. That's what
I think that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
I think it was like 2014.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
impeccable memory. Yeah, so you July 10th, 2014, you got 13th in that one, and then you did the Damn Am 3 years in a row, 2013, 14, 15. You also
I
skated.
remember.
You
Sorry to
skated,
cut you off.
you
I
know?
remember I did so bad on one of them. I think I was like 92.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this was, I swear, I was like, yep, contests are not it for me. Cause like, I just, I can't breathe. And if I can't breathe, the oxygen, like you go for a trick and you're like, and you just fall.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because the other results from the Damn Am, I think 2013 was when he got 92nd. So like, what was the driving factor to come back? And next year, 2014, 1 year later, you did very well.
Like 64, I think.
Yeah, so 30, that's 30 places higher, and it's a big contest. This is not like a small contest. In the same year, you got 14th at a Zoomies contest. So like, you were starting to grow your career in that direction. What was the shift there?
I just didn't like the pressure, because like I it's not where I have so much time, like how we've explained with like doing the tray flip off that loading dock. I have endless time to prove to myself that I can do it. This is like, and also time management, honestly. So let me explain. Contest, you have that 1 minute or 3 minutes to skate against the other two skaters, and then you get ranked up to like those scores. And that's a lot of pressure for me, because the time management that I'm spending outside of contests, I'm just going to the streets and like throwing like tricks and like spending on video parts. I'm not really practicing. I'm not staying at the skate park doing that repetitive motion of like, oh, I'm going to practice that 360 flip off the 5-stair every day for at least 10 minutes. Instead, I'm just going to try one time, land it, go to the streets and find a street spot that I want to create this video part. And now that I've grown more in like the mentality of having more of a time management on what I want to spend doing and where I want to focus like my time on, I would say that if I was to join contests right now, I would definitely have to just be skating a skate park and like see what park I'm going to be going to and try to practice the obstacles that I'm going to be doing at that park, versus that blind mentality of going to that contest like, oh, well, I skate, I want to see what I can do. And that's what I was kind of doing. I wasn't really going in with a plan. I was just going in like, oh, we'll see what I get.
Yeah, just go in, like not doing practice runs. I feel like if you, I would imagine talking to Nija, and he goes in and he has a run that he's doing, and he knows the ramps and what's happening ahead of time. And I think that research is definitely something but that might just be, obviously, it could just be maturity. Right now, you have a little bit more of that knowledge, and you could be like, maybe I'd be better. So maybe it's something you could go back to the Tampa Am.
Yeah, that would be a dream.
Yeah. If you don't win, you can always do the mud run or whatever that is through the like storm.
Yeah.
Drew, I know you had a Tampa question.
Oh yeah, you got to skate the Tony Hawk Underground skate park in Tampa, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a dream. I had to make like these little skits there. I had to. It was like okay, so for a lot of people, I'm not sure if they know this game, but Tony Hawk's Underground, it's the fifth game after Tony Hawk's 4. I grew up playing that one. Like everyone says 1 or 2 or the 3rd or the 4th, but Tony Hawk's Underground, I think I played that over and over. I remember if I'd beat it, I'd just restart it and play it. And like the little skate videos you'd unlock, I'd watch that to like kind of get like what skateboarding is. And then the storyline of that game, I really trusted that as how it is to get sponsored. So you get on the shop and then you just go and travel. You become AM for a team after you win a contest. And then to become pro, you win pro, like you just win a pro contest, and you create a video part, which at the end, you take that videotape from that guy that stole it from you, because like he stole it, and that's all your footage. And that I've honestly, I've never gotten footage stolen from me, but I've gotten footage deleted on accident by my fault. And it doesn't feel good when you lose those clips. It's like, it feels like a part of your soul is gone. And it's like the saddest thing ever.
I couldn't even imagine, but I totally forgot all about the storyline in that game. That you just remind me, because I grew up playing Tony Hawk, because that was the first game I got on an N64. But then when I got an Xbox, that's when Tony Hawk Underground came around. And that was like the next game changer, because the graphics were totally different. The gameplay was totally different. I totally forgot all about that. They take you through the steps of becoming a pro.
I was having flashbacks as you were describing that storyline. Yeah, that's wild. It's crazy how I was thinking about this the other day too, just how much time I spent as a child playing these video games, and so much stuff has just been locked away in my brain that recently I've found so many things. Like I was listening to Soundgarden yesterday, and I haven't listened to Soundgarden in a while, but I remembered all the words to these songs, even though it's been a long time. And then I was like, I used to play this motorcycle game on PlayStation 1 that was called Road Rash. And it was like this competitive motorcycle racing game, but you could get like bats and chains and like all these weapons to like just beat the other characters with it. but the soundtrack was just pure Soundgarden and pure like 90s grunge rock. And I don't know, yeah, it's awesome. Hearing you talk about the Tony Hawk's Underground storyline, I was getting like visual flashbacks. Like I remember the scene of like seeing the tape being stolen. I remember all these things so vividly.
Yeah, it was a big thing. I remember like I was like, dude, I just beat the game, or like I beat half of it just so you can say that that's you skating. I was like, dude, this is crazy. And one thing I do want to say, so because you make twist over the helicopter, there's this big thing in my brain that the dream trick that I could end my life on is doing a McTwist.
You got to get the chopper in there too, for
I've,
sure.
I've tried it recently when we went to Woodward. I tried a McTwist on the Resi half pipe, and I was like, I actually spun the whole thing, and I was like, whoa, dude, that is like the craziest thing. Like I got close, and someone's like, try it on the half pipe. You'll have actual time to spin the rest. I was like, you are crazy. Like I'm not dropping in and trying that on something I don't feel comfortable with.
You got to do it on the mini mega, and then you could get a little like RC helicopter and just stick it on the top there. That's the dream right there. Chase that one. I'd love to see that.
Put a drone right there, so it's like legit.
Yeah. 2020 version of that ender trick. So, man, like I feel like you really are chasing this amazing dream, and I'm so stoked to watch it. And I love the thoughts on like chasing the dreams through contests. So now you've decided, right? You're growing your channel on your own. And what was the spike in your channel when you joined the Braille team? Was that like a major factor for you, or was it just like most of the people who were watching you were already involved with Braille, so you already had an overflow?
So I joined last October, and I think I got like to 30K at the end of the year, and then it wasn't until this year that my channel grew to where it is now. And right now, currently, I'm doing this thing that I did last year. It's called Vlogmas.
Yep.
So Vlogmas, you vlog every day till the 25th on December. So the 1st to the 25th. And last year, that was a big point because like I was getting more views like on my videos, and people noticed me more because like I was in Braille, and they're like, oh, you have a YouTube channel. I didn't know that. And that kind of was like a little more push. And then I feel like because I've already been with Braille at this point in 2020, people kind of saw that also, like they want to maybe see more content, or like what I think of what content is, and they might just be going there to check it out and they like it or they subscribe. But it's been growing at a good rate, especially right now because like I'm posting every day and people are like seeing all kinds of variety. Like honestly, this is probably like a different point because like I'm not planning the videos out. I'm just kind of going day by day or whatever is like in my thought process. And some videos could be good ideas, some videos cannot be good ideas. I don't know. It's just like this is a test and trial. And the reason why I do I'm doing this Vlogmas too is kind of to test my ability on can I do a video, and also can I come up with ideas, and can I put out something different than the other days. So
And so let's talk a little bit about the creative process. So like, how did Vlogmas come about? What was I guess it's a lot of other people do Vlogmas maybe.
yeah.
And so you stumble upon that. What is your creative process, obviously in Vlogmas, but what is your general creative process? How do you come up with a video that you're going to post? Do you have a list that you're following? Is it using the same content? How do you come up with a thumbnail and the name? Let's go through that whole process.
So for that process, it's more of like without like doing the daily Vlogmas stuff like for December, I kind of just think of like what I would want to see, and just maybe people that like what I like, they'll click on the video, or I would hope that someone understands that I'm putting the time and effort into that one video that takes maybe a few days to create, which it takes a few days to create because I got to go to the spot, and then I got to figure out like if anyone else is going to go with me with like friends, because like usually the areas I go to are like based around like LA, like random abandoned places, or even further. Like there's been some like near San Diego, or when I'm up here in like the Bay Area, there's like a really good friend of mine. His name is Andrew. That helps me think of areas to go to or just check out. If not, it's just gonna be like street skating, and I'll put more time into that by like cutting it into little sections. And recently, after doing this whole Vlogmas, I think and I'll just say it right here. I think I've thought about this very much, and I haven't been actually vlogging as much as I do in these little short videos that I've been putting out in the previous videos. Like, it's more of like just skating, the least about talking, and just kind of showing people where we're going. I really enjoy going to like abandoned areas and just kind of skating and figuring out what we can do there.
And the vlogging section of the video might open your audience a little bit more too, potentially. You know,
Yeah.
right? You're obviously getting super guys who'd love to watch skate sections of videos, right? That's kind of what the bread and butter of the channel really is. And so you have 1,134 videos. That's a lot of videos. That's a lot. 4.33 million views. You have 61,000 subscribers. You have one video that is 1.1 million views. That Seth skated on his birthday. Right? So
that video is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Okay. This was he's a good friend. He was 16 at the time. It was his birthday. Originally, that wasn't the thumbnail or the name of the video, but because what I did was just clickbait that video. This was a period where I was just vlogging every day, and like I said before, I thought the videos were good, but they're really not that good. There's just a bunch of random things going on. And it's more of like documenting, if we can say that. Like, I literally was just documenting my life for a good year or two. And I thought it would be the funniest thing if I got my friend a lap dance. And he was 16. So this is what happened. The whole day he was like, what'd you give me for my birthday? Or what are we going to do? And as we were getting close to the skate park, I told him, I got you a gift. I got you a gift. And we drive up to the driveway, and we take him inside the skate park, blindfold him so he doesn't know what's happening. And a friend of mine had known someone that did lap dances, and I told her if she would be willing to do it, and there is going to be recorded. And she said, yeah. So it kind of worked out. And then when it started happening, it was just like, to me, at that point, in like that point of like that day, that mentality, it was hilarious because it's just something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world because like I'm getting my friend a lap dance and I want to see his reaction. That's all I really wanted to see, and I captured it. So when I uploaded it, this was like the time where people were like clickbaiting and stuff. And it wasn't clickbait. It was literally just like a good 20 seconds of her giving him a lap dance. And after a point of time, it just became this video that started going viral. And I was like, well, people are probably just subscribing because they think this is what I'm posting. So what I ended up doing was I changed the thumbnail. I changed the title because I didn't want people just to subscribe for that reason. And I think that's one of the things that has taught me something as I keep going forward in YouTube. Don't really clickbait the videos, because then if someone just subscribes to you for that content, you're growing an audience that isn't going to be there for the skateboarding or like you. They're just there because they think you're going to be posting these crazy types of videos. So the reason it has 1 million views is because like it was called Seth's Sweet 16.
Yeah. And that makes sense though. I like that you're protecting your brand, and you're making that observation of I don't want my channel to be just clicked on because they think this is the content I'm producing. And I think that's really a really powerful message that you send out there, that your content is not that way, and you don't want to go in that direction. it's very I mean, you're thinking about it as a brand, right? You're your own brand. You're not a commodity to a team. You are the brand itself.
Yeah, and I know it, and I know that at that point in that point of my life, I was thinking differently of how I created YouTube videos. I was really just trying to, because like I wanted to grow. I really was trying to get the clicks, and I was like, oh, this is gonna get clicked on. I think so. That's how I thought, and that happened. There's also another video where a friend of mine was in a cast and he got attacked by an old man, and that went viral like crazy. But YouTube took it down because it was violent, so they deleted that one, and that one it was on its way to getting like 2 million views,
Whoa.
which at that point I was growing once again an audience that was there for another reason, and it wasn't good. It just wasn't good.
Well, let's talk about some good, right? So
Yeah.
you've been your videos, not only on your channel, but they've been publicly posted on channels like Ride and other major outlets. So what was it like the first time that your content was posted onto Ride? So they have Manuel, Mogely, Herrera, Save Bakersfield Skateboard Company part. That's what Ride posted. And what was the reaction when that went up?
For me personally, it felt good because it's now that's Tony Hawk's YouTube channel technically, right? So that's Tony Hawk's YouTube channel, and in my mind I was like, wow, this YouTube channel is accepting content that I've created and they're uploading on their YouTube channel. And for me, that made me feel very successful. I was like, well, this is what a lot of hard work does, which I would feel like a lot of people that put their video parts on Thrasher or the Barracks would feel like. So it made me feel good, and it made me want to continue creating skate video parts as I was creating my like just regular YouTube videos.
So I want to transition a little bit to the Braille side. Why do you have so many nicknames? There's a lot. I mean, I can't even name them all.
It's whatever. Like they're just vibing. Whatever they're thinking, like whatever rolls off their tongue, they're just going off of it. If a different guest decides to say something, they're just going with it. But like ultimately, it's just Mogely, or if you want, you can call me by my name.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have a lot. It really does seem like a brotherhood of really good friends. I mean, Drew and I have a similar relationship in that way when we live together. There's a lot of nicknames. I just always love it. I love watching the friendship that you guys all have. It's great.
I'm still amazed that you have maintained that Instagram tag without any interference whatsoever at Jungle Book. That is wild. Yeah, that's amazing.
I have no idea how I still have it either, honestly. Okay, so the reason why I got that Instagram handle was I was living in San Diego in 2012 for a few months, and I was hanging out with a group of people that just were like, we were all just filming like this before was doing YouTube. So I was just like filming for like street clips every day. And they knew that I was Mogely, but they would just start saying, like, out of nowhere, they started saying Jungle Book. and then like it just transitioned to like, yo, Jungle Book, you want to go skate today? That's literally what they would say. And my first Instagram handle was just Mogely H99, like my Gmail.
Yeah.
And then I just switched it. I was like, well, they call me Jungle Book. Well, that looks a little cooler than. I didn't really think about like the movie or anything like that. I was like, well, they call me Jungle Book. I think I'm gonna switch it just for that reason.
Fantastic.
It's even
so
crazy
awesome
because like, didn't they redo Jungle Book recently?
Yeah.
I feel like they would have gone after the Instagram to try and promote I guess it's like done by a major picture house, so they don't need to.
Christopher Walken was the orangutan.
Yes,
it's a pretty good remake. I enjoyed it.
I think the Instagram they went with was the official Jungle Book. I think that's if I'm wrong, I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was somewhere along the lines like the official Jungle Book.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're like, we're not even gonna fight this battle. We'll just we got a way around it. This guy's got a following. So I think before we ask some questions from your listeners, I want to ask one final question from my side. It's like, what are you watching today on YouTube? So like what's your recommended look like?
Just friends. I do my best to watch my friends' content and just kind of like bounce ideas off that, or just like other creators that are like one of my favorites. And I was telling my friend Jay when we did the bike ride, one of my favorites of all time, like on YouTube, is Abroad in Japan. I don't know if you've heard that YouTube channel,
Oh,
but he like really puts his content out. Like if it's a TV show, it feels like he has like all the little theme, little songs, and like I like his thumbnails. They're very popular videos, and one of his videos really has inspired me to go, because I've been to Japan once, but it's really inspired me to go back and hike Mount Fuji and see like the sunrise, because I guess it's
Yeah.
called, I heard it's called like it's like you're watching heaven, or like somewhere around that line. Like it's like seeing heaven, if that makes sense. Like because it's rising and you're above like the clouds, and like the
Yeah,
clouds.
yeah,
Yeah.
they said the
So
same thing when my wife and I went to Hawaii last year, and there's a mountain. I think it's on Oahu, but you're supposed to drive up it at night, and then you go at like 3 a.m. and you watch the sunrise over it, and
That's
it's supposed to be
cool.
the same way. Like you're above the clouds, and all of a sudden it just like peaks out, and it's like that. They
That's
described
so
it the
cool.
same way. I would
yes,
imagine Mount Fuji's got to be cooler because you got to hike up it.
yeah. So in the future, whenever we're able to travel outside of, into other countries, that is literally probably one of the first trips I'm gonna create, just to go make that video. And I don't mind if anyone takes this idea, but I want to. The video is gonna be called "Me Hiking Mount Fuji to Do a Kickflip." So that's pretty much it. But like
I
the
love
real
it.
goal, the real purpose of that future video is just to go see the sunrise and like experience that whole setting.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would be awesome. Yeah. I
and
loved Japan. I went there once too. I thought it was such a cool place. And I would definitely love to climb Mount Fuji.
I'm looking at his channel. He definitely he has got great thumbnails. You're
Yeah,
spot on there.
he balked. I mean, balked. He biked from the north to the south of Japan, and like that's why
Wow.
whenever my friend said, "Oh, I want to bike to SF," that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, "Oh, that's like abroad in Japan. He biked from the north to the south," and he like made, I think, around 30 episodes, because he was doing
Wow.
like 4 hours. He was just biking 4 hours every video.
Yeah, 2,000 kilometers day
Yeah,
one.
that's
That's a lot. That's a lot. A lot. Drew, do you have any final questions before we go to users?
I don't have any more questions. I was going to tell you, my cousin recommended me this channel. I'm trying to look at what it's called. It's called Geo Wizard, and this guy maps out straight lines across countries and then sees if he can stay true to that straight line. So his most recent series was he mapped out a straight line across Norway and does different episodes just trying to maintain that straight directional line no matter what it takes him through, like people's private property or just crazy terrain. It's cool. It's a cool series.
what is it called? I'm gonna
This
put it.
guy's name is Geo Wizard.
Geo Wizard. I'm
Geo
gonna pop
Wizard,
the
yeah.
tab open real quick on
Yeah, give it a look.
Safari.
It's pretty cool. It's a very curious idea.
I could watch this later.
That's all I had though,
That's
Mike.
fun.
That's all I got.
I think that fits the content that he's watching pretty well. Drew
Yeah.
told me about that guy. I'm like, dang, like, could you imagine if you did a straight line through like Albania, even start parts of the
Oh
U.S. I wouldn't
yeah.
want to trespass
All
through
right.
someone's backyard. Um, all right, so we have Mike and sorry in advance for my just botching your name if I say this. Mike underscore Borensky. How would you/your life be different if you didn't keep skateboarding?
I probably wouldn't be this, but I like to believe that the next coolest thing would be an astronaut. I
Okay.
I know that that's probably not what I would go do, but that's honestly one of the things I wish I could dedicate my time to, but knowing the person I am, I won't do it because I love skating.
Yeah, but you never know. You could always
first kickflip on the moon.
First clip, and now space travel is going to be commoditized, so you could still be an astronaut without having to be like an astronaut.
That's true. Hopefully in 10 years when a lot of things become a little more normalized.
Yeah. Blue Origin can take you up there. You can go with Bezos or Elon Musk. You choose. Where did you, this is from Lorenzo _, I'm going to just Arellano _ where did you get the pants? where do you get all your pants? I think it is.
I know which one they're talking about. They're talking about these corduroy pants, like just like different pockets. Honestly, Instagram just advertised them to me, and I was like, I'm gonna buy them. I've kept getting advertised that like over and over, and I was like, I'm buying them.
Apparently, they're a hit. So then we have Pickus _OG. What's the biggest and best piece of advice anyone's ever given you?
No one. This one is from Han in Tokyo Drift. Life's simple.
Yeah. Hey.
It's like life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back. I think that's like one of my favorite quotes. The other one is that he says in that same scene, he says, all I need is trust and character. I don't need money. I already have that. And then if you've seen The Pursuit of Happiness, when he tells his son, don't let anyone tell you you can't do it.
Yeah.
So like those are like, it's not that anyone's given me advice. I personally love watching movies. Like I love watching movies just as much as I love watching anime. And just sitting down and watching movies, you can get so much out of it if you're really dialed in. So like those are like the three that have always really stuck with me. And Coach Carter, when one of the students gets up and tells him like a nice speech. I love speeches. Like they're the most powerful thing. Same thing with Gary Vee. Like Gary Vee, Les Brown, all these, Will Smith, like with all his personal speech, like all these guys are amazing. Like all these motivation, I love these guys. Like when if you're ever feeling like down and negative, like quickly just go to someone's speech and put it full blast, and then tell me at the end of their speech that you do not feel better. Cause like I usually feel like, oh, they're right. Like I can do it. Like it's just a matter of time. Or it just, trust me, like the period where I was like, began YouTube to where I am now, I swear I put so many motivational speeches on, and like to a lot of people it might be corny, but to me it was like one of the things that really kept me going, like because you can hear how genuine they are in those speeches. It's not someone like right now, like someone that would sit next to you and just like tell you, oh yeah, you got it, just to tell you because that's what you want to hear, but it's because they're that in that moment that they're getting interviewed, or that moment when they're giving that speech, or those actors at that time when they're acting, they're really emphasizing that feeling into it, and that feeling is so genuine that you get that when you're watching it. So my best advice is those speeches or any motivational speeches.
There's some great ones on YouTube too, and I think that just from what you said, the character in The Pursuit of Happiness, he shows all of those emotions, and I really feel that Will Smith killed that character. I love that movie. I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah, that's honestly one of my favorite films. Like The Pursuit of Happiness shows like what it means to not quit or give up. That is like the epitome of it. Like in a movie, like it shows the struggles. It's very powerful.
Hey, fully invest in everything. Put every dollar into it, and if you want it to happen, it will. You just got to work. So the final, I think this is great way to end it here is, Nicole Bath. Would you recommend people to still start YouTube channels nowadays, and what would be the best advice for them as a starting out?
I think if you want to, you should. It's never too late. I think the best advice is just getting started, putting that first one out, and not really expecting anyone to like don't get in it for the wrong reasons. Do it because you love it and because it's fun to you. When I first started, it was more about, oh, this is another great way to save my life basically on the internet. And sad to say that like late 2017, a lot of my footage got deleted, and not deleted, but I lost a hard drive that had almost everything that I worked hard for. And because of the internet, it's still there, like vlogs, video parts, like me skating, and just some important videos that I truly hold value to that I created with friends are still on there. And in that point in my life, I knew that if I kept making YouTube videos, even if it wasn't for to like become a big YouTuber or whatever it means to be a big YouTuber, it was still a great way to document like what I was doing in that point in life. I think I was hearing something on a podcast on my way to Braille today. Imagine you can tap into this conversation where your great great grandfather was talking to your great great grandmother, and it's just like that would hold so much value to you because that they're related to you, and it's just like you're there just learning from your relatives or your family, or just it just holds information that it could do something for you, or you just learn more about them. So this is just kind of like a time machine for my future family tree. They're gonna be able to see how I did things, or where I started, or where I began my journey to wherever it's gonna be.
I mean, when your son is 13, he can go and look at what his dad was when he was 13.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's very true.
It's a really cool thing. I didn't think about that. My son, I hope he's sleeping. But yeah, I never thought about that. It'll be cool for him to go back and watch some of our content and see the people that we've gotten to interact with. And I can't thank you enough for the time today. It has been so fun to talk to you and hear these amazing stories. Everyone out there, please make sure you subscribe, follow him, be involved, because he's building a really positive community and we're thankful to be part of it.
Yeah, that last perspective of treating YouTube and the internet as like a way to archive your life is sort of rocking my world right now. It's given me a lot to think about. I
Yeah,
appreciate your time very much, man. Yeah, thanks for your time and thanks for chatting with us.
thank you guys.